Hey everyone, it's Sally Estlin from Magic Mike Moments, and today I'm very, very excited to sit down and have a chat with Dania Baayoun. And Dania, welcome to Magic Mike.
Hi, thank you. Nice to have you. Have me. I'm very happy to be here.
So let me just do a little quick intro to you. So you're a certified mindset and executive coach. So your journey has been eclectic, spanning from managing a law firm, wow, to curating a flourishing floral design and event business before finally finding your true calling, which was coaching. With a background in psychology, a graduate degree, and certifications as both a professional and executive coach, you seamlessly channel your innate ability to connect with people into translating their visions into actionable steps. You've lived across diverse countries, speaking various languages, and being a perpetual student of human behavior. You possess an innate ability to make people truly feel heard. So deeply passionate about women's issues, right up my alley, empowerment and the collective ascent of women. You see it as a prerequisite for the elevation of all. And your coaching philosophy extends beyond addressing singular issues. You coach the entire person. Oh, we're so on the same page, recognizing that we are greater than the sum of our parts. So what sets you apart is your proprietary process, meticulously crafted to guide clients in discovering, shaping, and embodying the women they aspire to be. Central to this journey is attaining authentic confidence and internal validation. Oh my God, sister, we are so on the same page. So welcome.
Passion subjects, right? Yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So wow. So interesting, your whole career. Do you want to share a little bit about your journey, some of the challenges you've had and what you've learned along the way as well?
Sure. I think all of us are on a journey, and I truly believe all of us are on a singular kind of path, and other people come in and out of your life, but you're just on your own path. So it's very important to be anchored in something that you're always going to have, which is a relationship with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So my journey has been kind of circuitous. So professionally, I did manage a law firm for 10 years, and that was very interesting because it's as negative as it sounds, but there was some coaching element to it because people come in at their very worst. They're experiencing something awful, and you want to help them through the process, not the legal aspect, but there's billing and understanding the process and
Yeah.
just making them feel heard, because it's a very complicated, it's a language, unless you're a lawyer you don't speak it.
It is
I've
a
been
foreign language. It is.
that was kind of some level of coaching, and I left that after I had my two daughters. And I've always been an artist, so I decided I'm going to do the exact opposite of billing and operations management in something as like the practice of law. So it was a boutique. So I had it for years. It's a event and floral design boutique. So I did corporate events and centerpieces and floral art, and centerpieces that are silk permanent art, and I still dabble in that. Just being able to create, which is yet another kind of coaching. You take
Yeah.
somebody's vision, what they think they'd like for the event to feel like, or what the centerpiece would look like, and you
Yeah.
translate that. And it's all about emotions. It's all about getting the feeling right and getting
Mm.
the and seeing their face on the reveal is like payment in full. Because the eyes, the sparkle, and it never grew old.
Oh,
And then
mm.
the pandemic came and decided to upend everyone's life. No one was having any events. You never went to any client's home or had any corporate anything.
Mm.
And so it just came to me, what keeps calling me, and it's that kind of need, desire to connect with people, to help, to serve, to understand, to kind of dig into whatever it is and help them out of it. And so yeah, I went back to school, got certified, and here I am.
Wow, what a beautiful story. And you're right,
Yeah.
it's about that connection, right? Because in Melbourne, where I'm from, we were the most locked down city in the world, and we were so disconnected and so isolated. And it was very, very, very challenging. And we're social beings, right? So we need connection, and we're very emotional. Very
Absolutely.
emotional.
Absolutely. And I think people, we had some time just to sit with ourselves, which is something most people don't have the time to do nor want to do.
Yeah.
So a lot of issues emerge from the pandemics, some good, some not so good. And the ability to say, wait a minute, I don't like this about me, or I need to figure this part out. The need for coaching, there were always coaches before, but there was a really quite a huge uptick in coaching, because finally it was okay to say, hey, maybe I'm not all right. Maybe I need help.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
I don't know how to become the person I would like to be. And I would like some help with that. So it came out of the shadows into something more acceptable. And it's wonderful.
Oh, look, there were so many positives to come out. And honestly, for myself and so many around us, it took us back to basics, appreciating nature. You know, I used to
Yeah.
walk along, we were allowed out for 1 hour a day, and I would walk along the river, and all these little baby birds started appearing, and, you know, watching the little ducks and grow up. And then we had some bellbirds and they were pinging, and then the little baby bellbirds. And so it's like the little things that were important. And to this day, that is what keeps me grounded, walking in nature every single day, connecting in, looking at the birds, and you know, getting the messages from the animals, and, you know, just being very in tune. So yeah, fantastic. We are so on the same page. And, you know, we're not here for a long time, we're here for a good time. So, like, let's enjoy the moments. And that's where coaching can really bring out the best in you, you know, really get into that inside stuff that's going on and really connect in and just create a more positive life. It's not, I think everyone should have some form of coaching, because it just enhances and amplifies your life. It just helps you. All we do is assist people to get more in contact, connected with themselves. So, and make themselves shine, right? Yeah.
And then I think none of us, most people, you don't have time that someone dedicates just to hear you out, a sacred container that is, just yours. And so you're able to, come as you are. The coach will meet you where you're at in your journey. And our job is just to be companions, cheerleaders, a mirror as you journey on your own, like I said, on your own path.
Yeah.
Coaches don't have the answers. Clients have the answers. The client has a PhD in themselves.
Yeah, I love that.
Yes. Our job is just to bring that out and hopefully help build a bridge from where they're at now to where they would like to ascend and be. So
absolutely, we're just assisting people for doing the healing themselves and the connection. And I love that, but doing a PhD on themselves. I like to say we become the detectives of our own lives, and we start to, like, go deeper and investigate further into what's underlying and what's going on. So we are so in tune. So what do you think? Why are people drawn to you? What do you think your superpower is, or your magic? What is it, what the people specifically go to you?
I think it's my ability to build rapport, to make a person feel like they're the only person there, they're heard, they're seen, they're safe. And luckily, I think organically, I've had that really since I was a kid. I've been everyone's therapist, my friends, my siblings, my right, go-to person which is, it's really, I'm privileged to be able to partake in that with somebody. So I'm hoping that's what I think it is. That's what I'm known for, other than my design, but really kind of that ability one-on-one to make you feel safe enough to really say what's on your mind, what's on your heart.
Yeah, I love that. And it is about making people feel safe and, you know, comfortable enough to go deeper within themselves and express their vulnerabilities, which is a strength, but peeling back the layers and providing that safe environment for it. It's so beautiful because I can feel your vibe anyway over the Zoom here.
From here in Australia, right? And especially so for women, because we're naturally giving, helping, saving, serving, whatever it is that women do. But then who's there for you, right? Who is there in order for you to stop doing that and take some time back, right? And say, I am not happy with, I want this and that. We are programmed to not do that. And this is where coaching, especially women's coaching, and I'm sure for you, because that's very much what you do as well, to empower them, be it in the clothes they wear or the thoughts they have or the feelings they aspire to live.
Absolutely. And like I always say, there's nothing more attractive than a confident woman and someone who's comfortable in their own skin. You can that's what you resonate towards. You can see them. They're just, their stance, their everything. It's just like, whoa, so empowering. I love it. And I just think that, as I just said before, we're not here for a long time. So like, let's just get into that state now and walk around more confidently and just feel more empowered. Because isn't it a great feeling when you're in that zone?
Absolutely. It's like your flow, your zen. And I always tell my
Yeah.
clients, you know what, this isn't a dress rehearsal. This is the
Yeah.
deal. The
Yeah.
show is on. You are the star. There's an audience. There is no later. I will get to it. Perhaps when I'm older, when I lose 10 pounds. None of that exists because
Yeah.
we don't, these are fallacies. We're here now. Right now is the only time and place that matters. Like you said, you got to make the best of it. We're here
Yeah.
for a purpose, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So moving on, what do you think, in your opinion, is the biggest issue facing your clients? There's so many.
Yeah, I think if we were to condense it, uh, the most of the women that I serve are professional, driven in their careers, in their lives, more or less over 40, maybe in the middle of their 40s. I think
Yeah.
when you get there, you're working hard, you've raised your children, you're advancing in your career, but then there is a glass ceiling that you hit. And
Yeah.
I'm not only talking about the one that society puts forth in your career, but the one you have
Yeah.
within yourself. You
Yeah.
want to ascend to the next level, but something keeps stopping them. The
Yeah.
core issue, obviously, is our relationship with ourselves, and it
Yeah.
comes out as your inner critic, your fear of failure,
Yeah.
imposter syndrome, the constant din in the back of your mind about you're going to fail, you're not good enough, they're going to find out. And I think that stops a lot of women from ascending further. So it's peeling back all of that down to the core of what
Yeah.
is all this about, so that the awareness will help them understand it and judge themselves less, because the world is judging you enough.
Yeah.
You don't need to add one more judge from within yourself to that, because that's, the hardest one. Because really, I always tell my clients, the only opinion of you that matters is the one you have of yourself. Everybody else's opinion is irrelevant.
Yeah.
If you are not at peace with the woman within, then we're not going to be able to align,
Yeah.
the purpose you're here to live.
So spot on. So spot on. Yeah, I have a mantra, and we'll get up to that, but it's part of it is letting go of other people's opinions, because that's their stuff. They're
Yeah,
entitled to
that's
that.
your business. Yeah.
None of your
I
own
have
business.
nothing to do with that. Yeah. You
Yeah,
can think
yeah.
whatever you want.
Absolutely. Oh, we're so aligned. So based on, you've had an amazing career, and so much wisdom would have been acquired, knowledge and experience from, lawyer to event organizer to coaching. I love it. And in this day and age, our kids are going to have 7 or 8 career changes. That's sort of the research is showing that over their careers. And it just makes you who you are, the wealth and depth of you. So what overall of your experience, what do you think would be your 3 top tips to help people overall?
Oh, I think that's I think in everything in life, but it's men and women, but it's
Yep.
specifically women. I think treating yourself with compassion,
Oh,
as
yes.
if you were treating somebody else. Think of your child, your best friend, whomever you want, because we treat ourselves sometimes rather cruelly in silence. In the kind of darkness of one's mind, you're constantly judging and saying awful things to yourself, and then expecting to show up brightly in the world. It's not going to work, right?
Yeah. Oh, just absolutely.
Kindness and compassion, forgiveness to oneself. You are doing the best job that you can. That
Yeah.
doesn't mean you cannot ascend to an even better self, but just to give yourself some grace. I think that's number one. Number two, and I touched upon that a little bit earlier, to really work very hard on establishing, cultivating a good relationship with yourself.
Yeah.
Your relationship and your vision of yourself, especially as a woman.
Yeah.
And anchoring yourself to that. And that's where a lot of my work is helping the ladies that I'm working with to visualize what this woman, the business is called Fierce Muse. So who is your Fierce Muse? You're
Yeah.
just super duper excellent version of who you'd want to be. And then learn to live that, to embody that, to ask that to come into your life, to manifest it, but from a cellular level all the way to an existential one. So it's not lip service, right? I'm not going to wear, my Louboutins and strut about and I am she. No, deep within, the only critic that matters, sadly, is ourselves. So you have to be able to turn that down. So compassion for sure, and being able to have a better relationship with oneself. And then I think putting out in the world the energy and love that you would like to receive,
Yeah.
right? So living with purpose, leading with compassion, having gratitude, helping others, serving from a place of fullness where your heart is full in wanting to serve and to enhance the lives of those you love, those around you, the place you live, to leave this place just a little bit shinier than when we had gotten into it X decades ago. I think those would be my top tips.
Oh, absolutely.
Good shoes.
What was that one?
Good shoes, good heels. Every woman needs lots of shoes, lots of heels. But you know.
I love it. I love it. You're so spot on, because what we say in our heads, you wouldn't say to your worst enemy. And it's like, you know, all those studies that just prove how debilitating it can be to our quality of life. You know, look at Dr. Emoto with the water things. And, you know, I was a contributing author in a book called it's basically how the body can heal itself. And I was talking about, I had a plant and I had let the plant go and it was out with all the other plants. And someone said, just throw it out. And I said, I'm not throwing it out, I'll bring it back. So I started talking nicely to this plant, and within a week, it started shooting green buds. And I thought, wow, if I can do that to a plant, imagine what I could do to my body, and also imagine what I've been doing to my body with the thoughts that I've been saying in my head. That inner critic, it's there, you know, protect us in many ways, but it's our biggest sabotage. And it's like, whoa. So once we have that awareness, then you can start to do something about it, but you can't change what you don't know. So, you know, energy is so powerful, and we have the ability to really turn our lives around. So, you know, I'm so in alignment with everything that you're talking about.
And honestly, I feel that there have been studies about that. So you're absolutely right. The energy that you put out is real. We're all energy. We just get recycled in the universe, if you will. It doesn't really end, right?
Yeah,
but and another kind of way to think about it is through research. Confidence is not, to some people it is innate, but it can be learned. It's a skill. So it's not just either I have it or I don't, especially for women. That is so multifaceted and nuanced that you can learn to step into that, to take on parts of a more confident you. So you're able to have it or put it out there when you need it. So it can be learned. And a challenge is the things sometimes we tell ourselves, if you were to write them out or say them out loud, it's almost like you can't. They're so cruel. You would never do that. But that's daily. It's constant in the back of your minds. There was a study in England, I think it was a clothing manufacturer, and they were trying to figure out how women feel about themselves in order to build out the clothing line, something I'm sure is up your alley with your clothing line, right? And they found out that these women were having 4 to 5 solidly negative thoughts about themselves. I'm not talking about the thousands of small tidbits of thoughts that come and go. No, these were full-on thought out negative statements daily. It's like 1,500 to 2,000 a year. Can you imagine if you did that to somebody? What kind of sense of self would they have at the end of it?
Oh, it's right? Just, there's like Dr. Joe Dispenza bangs on about, we have 80 to 90,000 thoughts per day, and 80 to 90% of those thoughts are the same ones we had yesterday, or 70 to 80%, whatever it is. So we constantly,
tons of them are negative.
And it's just like, oh, my bum looks big in this, or my thighs are really big, or I'm too short and I'm too wide, or I'm too old, or I'm too wrinkly. It's like, oh my God, it's so easy.
Always something. It's one thing when you're a teenager, it's something else in your 20s, something else in your 30s. And, it just, sadly, the critic evolves with you, and not in a good way. Mind you, our critic is probably stopped her growth at about 8 or 9 years of age. So the inner critic has no ability to handle your life as an adult, but is happily giving you criticisms from a very disempowered place of lack of control and not being able to understand the variables of your life. So when we think about it this way, something can be done about that.
Absolutely. And this is why we have these conversations, because it just takes one little spark of a light bulb of going, oh, you know what, that's so true. And I'm ready to kick that one to the curb. And I think, particularly when you get in your 50s, I'm mid-50s, and you really start to go, oh my gosh, really? That's just rubbish. And then you just throw it out. It's just like, oh, trash.
Right. Absolutely. Yes. Yes, that's true. And I think there are a couple schools of thought to deal with the inner critic. You can do both. And I think seeing the inner critic as a child, because that's where it was formed back in your childhood, and being able to show that child compassion, reparent the child, and make sure that from the inner kind of array of things that we are on the inside, we are many things. There's a child, the sage, all of that. Then one is leading, and that's your fierce muse is leading, not your wounds, not your inner critic, so that you can end up going down the path that you choose, not your wounds have chosen for you or your fears have chosen for you. My biggest why is because I don't want any woman to be decades down a path she didn't choose, decades down a path that was chosen in fear and confusion. How will you ever meet your fierce muse? You won't, sadly. Right? And then the school of thought is to kind of envision your inner critic. And I always, before I started the program, I would always say, all right, thank you. Thank you for saying that. I'm just going to buy you a martini in my mind. Go enjoy it at the bar away from me so I can think. Just be quiet, right?
It's
like you can say it out loud. Shush.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. It's just like, here, you've given it permission. Go off, go to the bar. I'll see you in an hour. Give me some time.
Exactly. Buy her a martini, right?
I'm coming to your school. That's the so I was mentioning before about my little mantra, which is let go, step up, and be more. And it's about how have you let go and stepped up and been more in your life? I mean, you're touching on like letting go of other people's opinions and that sort of thing. And, for me, it's like stepping up and just being more of myself, more of my authentic self. And it's been a bit of a journey to do that. And you've had an amazing journey. So where do you think overall, what's the main thing you've let go of?
Oh, wow. That's really a very, very integral question, I think. I think for me, what the biggest challenge was, so I've been divorced for 14 years and my daughters are now 16 and 18. So I've been raising them solo from 2 and 4. It's been a really humbling journey, along with career changes and all of that. It was being able to say, okay, I'm going to let go of how it should have been, what what I should be doing, perhaps how it can have been done better. And I am here, it is now, and I'm going to, captain this ship by myself, me and my 2 daughters in my heels, to the best of my abilities, as my best self. Right or wrong, I am the only one captaining this. So if we make it to port, it's on me. And if it sinks, it's on me as well.
Wow. Yeah.
So there's no time for other people's opinions.
Yeah. And that's so true. Look, I've been divorced about the same time, and you've got to let go of that perfection and just bring back to what, just being the best person that you can in the moment, and take that perfectionism, off yourself. So, part of that is just stepping up and just being more like bringing it back to the basics again, as you said, acting as your best self. I think that's probably where you've stepped up. And I think at the end of the day, we're just, perfectly imperfect and just as we are, and being comfortable in our own skin. Hey.
Absolutely. You're a one-off. I mean, the universe made just one of you, never to be repeated, never to be duplicated. And so there is a little bit of magic in that. So of course you must live as your best self because it's only here now, right?
Yeah, love it. You're so in tune. So at the end of the day, what are you most passionate about? What gets you out of bed? What drives you and just makes your soul sing?
I think seeing the aha in a client you're coaching, and finally for them to connect the dots and say, oh my God, this is possible. For me, is even more, of course, at a much different level, amazing as when you reveal a ballroom to a client, all the things you have put in, and the wonder. That's exactly the thing that you see in your coaching clients when they realize, no, better is possible. I can let go. I am in charge of the decisions. I have agency, especially for women, because you cannot talk about imposter syndrome and inner critic without talking about the societal socioeconomic rules, or the cadre that's been put around women, where we have to work twice as hard just to show up the same. So you're against the current. I mean, it's already double the effort just to start where everybody else is. So knowing that, oh my God, I can be me, I have agency, I can make decisions, and I can be okay with that, because my better self, because I always say, ask yourself, if you don't know what the decision is, what would your fierce muse say? Would
Yeah.
she do this? Would she not? The answer is immediate because you know. So
Yeah.
once you get to that, I think that's my most favorite thing.
Yeah, love it. I love it. I love it. So talking about Fierce Muse, do you want to share a little bit how people can get hold of you and what you're running and programs and things like that?
I'm sure that I have a LinkedIn profile, so I think I had left the information for you, but it's LinkedIn at Dania Baayoun. You can reach out to me there, or you can reach out to me via email. And really, what the primary work is, I have a 6-week program called the Muse Method, and we take these ideas of what is the inner critic, what is imposter syndrome, where did these beliefs come from, and break everything down. Then come up with a plan. How are you going to counteract this thing you've been telling yourself for 30, 40, 50 years? There is a plan. And then to help you kind of come out of that and have an idea of once these things kick in, oh, these are the tools I'm going to use. So my hope for the client is, as I keep learning and doing certificates and I'm in perpetual class, so that I can offer tools and modalities. We can choose from a variety of things to tackle the same kind of inborn issues we all share. And then once you're finished with that, if you're so inclined, you can ascend into a larger, longer program where we talk about the inner muse in all aspects of your life. So what do you want to be spiritually? What do you want to be like in relationships? What is your purpose? And then learn together about sourcing your validation from within, not from the scale, not from your spouse, not from how much you're being paid, but from how you feel about yourself. And that nobody can take away from you.
Yeah.
So
I just love that it's so in depth and it's so connected with yourself, and it just enhances your life like on every level. So I just think it's spot on. I love how you have this sort of introductory 6 weeks, and then you can take it deeper and deeper, because the whole journey can be a little bit overwhelming. And so you're just taking it in small steps and just start in small chunks. So I encourage everyone to reach out to you. I'm getting goosebumps down my back. That's how good your program is. The Muse.
yes, we can have a virtual coffee and talk about your Fierce Muse. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Dania, thank you so much for being on Magic Mike Moments. It's just been an absolute pleasure to speak to you. We are so in alignment, and wow, you've just blown me away with your whole career and how as you said, we're perpetual learners. We're eternally like sponges, absorbing and growing, so that our toolbox becomes bigger and bigger, so that we're very well equipped to help people with everyday issues today, and just to rediscover themselves. Like you said, do the PhD on yourself, or as I say, become the private detective of your own life, because why not? Let's enhance and amplify our life. It's so precious, and there's so much gold that we can uncover.
Absolutely. And I think one thing I'd like to leave the listeners with, the question for them to ask themselves, how would your life be? What would your choices be? Where would you be if you've actually ascended into your Fierce Muse and she made the decisions? You'd be unstoppable. You'd be magic.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a perfect way to finish. So thank you.
Thank you, Sally, for having me.
Just think of yourself ascending yourself into your Fierce Muse. Oh my gosh, it's so empowering. It's fantastic. It makes my soul sing just thinking about it. Well, Dania, thank you so much for being a guest on Magic Mike. We look forward to catching you again soon, and good luck with everything. And everyone reach out to Dania and ask her about her program, because it sounds amazing.
I'd love to serve. Thank you so much for having me, Sally. I really appreciate it.
See you later. Bye.